Greetings. Patrick here, Eight Questions with. Welcome to the show, episode 363. Wow, where do they all go? Where do they all come from? Where do they all go? Um, Glad you guys are here. Sorry for last night. Um, I was not feeling the very best. I did not want to bring that onto the air, so I contacted our good friend Count Gregula, and he and I arranged for him to come back in October on October 25th. Hey, there's our good friend Steven is here. Yeah, we are gonna. I'm looking forward to talking to Donna. Donna Hamblin is going to be our special guest today. Super psyched out to talk to her. Um, let's see. Joseph, the horror guy, says, "Hello, Patrick. Should I make my own horror short film?" Absolutely, absolutely, yes. You should make your own short film. Absolutely, positively. Um, Thank you guys all for coming in. This is going to be a lot of fun. Donna Hamlin is an actress who does both horror and she also does action movies. Me and the Cheetah, we were checking out. Uh, what were we checking out? We were checking out one movie. We got caught up in it called Angel of Reckoning. I really was enjoying that. We're about three quarters of the way through, so it's pretty badass so far. Um, I'm impressed. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun actually. So and then of course he was pawing at me saying that we needed to watch Hellcat's Revenge, and we definitely going to do that as well. Definitely going to do that as well. That's gonna be a lot of fun too. That looks absolutely like old school 70s, late 60s, 70s, back when they used to have a motorcycle gang genre. Motorcycle gang movies were all the rage back then. Hell's Angels, this and that. Motorcycles were just crazy. Of course, of course that was brought, majorly with Easy Rider, but there was a lot of motorcycle films before and after that. It lasted, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years, the rush, and then it slowly faded off. Uh, um, so, hey, there's our good friend Cheetah is here. Lazy Cheetah, our artist friend, former guest, has come on. Hello, hello, hello. I'm glad you're here. Let's see, and Lisa is a former Playboy model. Yes, I saw that Hellcat's Revenge. Hellcat's Revenge got a good cast to it. That's gonna be a lot of fun. That's old school. That's like the late early 70s. Um, there's another movie that just came out that our good friend Rainbow Fright turned us on to, and we are definitely going to be watching that. In fact, that actually might be what we watch tonight. Bring it back to 60s and the 70s vibe. It's called The Love Witch. Holy crow! When she showed me the preview of it, I'm like, I don't remember seeing this on Hammer or Amicus. What movie was this? And then I found out that it wasn't. It was 2017 or 18, but it looks straight back from the 60s. It's so cool looking. It has it has everything you expect from the 60s too. The cool clothes, the funky music. Yeah, it's interesting, and it was so good. Uh, so interesting. I would definitely want to see that. Let's see. Anthony is here. He says he's got 966 subs. That is awesome, Anthony. I told you you're gonna get it before the end of the year. Way before the end of the year. You're gonna probably end up catching my butt before the end of the year. Um, according to YouTube, and who knows, by the time this ends, that could change. YouTube says that I have actually reached 1,300, but we'll give that with a grain of salt. All right. I do got a little bit of somber news, so I want to get that out. So I did an interview with a wildlife rehabber, a possum rehabber, named Brenda. Brenda's known as Brenda the Possum Mom, and she came on and she did an interview with us here on 8 Questions with. And in it, she showed she showed us her possums that she had and where she's taken care of. And one of the possums that she showed us was her, who Katie from Popping the Popcorn co-hosted that show with me. And one of the possums that Brenda showed us was Lily Grace, and that was one of the rescue possums. Um, one of the sad things that we found out about possums, they're great animals. They're tremendous help to us. I mean, if you see a possum, always help them out. You know, if you see them in trouble or anything like that, or if you actually see them rooting in your trash, don't get upset with them. Don't try to kill them. Don't try to poison them. They are beneficial. They are critical. We need them. We need possums. Um, all right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, you're gonna grow. You'll grow. Um, so one of the things about the possums that she mentioned was their lifespan. So possums have only a 4-year lifespan. That's it. Anything they get after 4 years is strictly bonus. That's all they can live. I mean, even if you have them inside your house, even if you have them inside your house and with the top-notch care, they generally only last a little between maybe 4 to 4.5 years. I'm sure some have lived a little longer, but Brenda says on a whole, um, possums only live for 4 years. So it was really sad but when she came and she said that Lily Grace had passed away on October 8th. Um, so I don't know the details of it. I'm not sure she just died of old age, which really blows my mind when you think about a 4 years old being elderly. Um, Hey, Casey. Hey, Professor. Glad you guys are here. Oh, the doorbell just rang. So you know what that means? That means our guest is here. And so we don't ever make our guests wait. So please share us out if you can. Otherwise, help me welcome in actress Donna Hamblin. And here we go.
Hey.
Hey, you caught me in the middle we had a wildlife rehabber on the show a while ago.
Oh, cool.
It was Donna. She rehabs possums. That's her rescue. So so she was on the show with us, and we were talking about possums, and she had 3 possums she showed off to us, and one of them was this one possum named Lily Grace, and we found all sorts of facts about possums. I mean, I didn't even know half the stuff that what she was telling us, but one of the things that blew our mind was possums only live for 4 years.
For 4 years?
That's it. 4 years.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anybody that rescues possums, and they're such a beautiful. Anybody that rescues any animal in my book is on a high pedestal. So good for her.
Very much. I'm with you. I'm with you. I've enjoyed talking to rescuers. We've had a cat rescuer on, and we've had of course Brenda. We're going to have more on too, because I enjoy talking to them as well.
Wonderful.
Tonight we get you.
Yay! Hi everyone.
So we are happy about that. Super happy about that. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I can tell you one thing that you have right now that we wish that we had. Sun. We have no sun. We've been
Let me tell you about Mr. Sun here, okay? My best friend Luke Beignet, who's also actor, a big actor in the horror industry, he's visiting from Montreal, and he's helping me redo my backyard. It looks amazing and beautiful, but we have been working out in this sun, and even though it's 70 degrees, we are toasted. So
we had a good summer here in Michigan. But man, when it decided to flip, it glides into it. Now it was like, hey, it's 80 degrees today. Wake up the next day. Why is it 50?
You get the winters there, so yeah. I love the snow, but I'd never want to live in it. It's too difficult to live in. We get spoiled living in this climate that we're in. So
now, are you based in Los Angeles?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas. Oh,
Yeah.
that's heat. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, today we were celebrating. It was 77 degrees or 74, and it was like, yay, it's cold.
I was gonna say, isn't it like 70, 75, like a winter day? Is that count as a winter?
No, our winters will get down to like 54 to 60s, but very few times has it got so freezing cold that I have a pond that it's froze over twice in 15 years. So, but yeah, I mean, it's cold enough to wear a sweater, but in the middle of the day, you want to take your sweater off and just put a t-shirt on. So
Sure.
I feel very fortunate. Yeah.
See, can you see the chat? Okay, everybody's saying hi to you.
I can't. No, am I missing this?
Yeah, if you see
Well,
it'll say comments, just hit comments, and you should be able to see everybody.
Let me push on the comments. Okay. This is a new computer to me. Oh, hi, Stephen. Stephen Chang's on. Stephen's my Facebook husband, in case anybody wonders. Hi,
Nice.
everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful welcome.
Our good friend Lazy Cheetah is here. That's an oxymoron because there's no such thing as a lazy cheetah. I have to say that every time he comes in. I have to sit there and say, there's no such thing as a lazy cheetah. Our good friend Casey is here.
Nice. Oh, how wonderful.
Yes, all here to ask questions and hear us talk a little bit.
Nice. Hi, Lazy Cheetah.
Now he'll love that. He'll say, "See, look, she called me lazy." See, I'm telling you. Las Vegas. What an interesting place to what an interesting place to be based in.
Yeah.
Because Vegas is popping.
Oh my God, especially recently. It's literally so busy and it changes so much that it's like you never get tired of the same old thing, but it's starting to get pretty congested. But it's like us locals here, we seldom go to the strip. Been there, done that, performance and visiting and whatnot. So but yeah, it's a pretty poppin' place, you could say, yeah. And there's naked women everywhere, people.
I was gonna say there's a lot of movie productions everywhere too.
There are, yes, and a lot of times, like a lot of your higher, your professional production companies from Los Angeles, a lot of them would come here to film scenes, not just for the casinos, but because union-wise, it's a right to work state. And so it's easier for them with the SAG-AFTRA here in Vegas.
That means they can work without, not being punished for being in the union, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's both sides, I chose not to join the union. I have nothing against it. It just wouldn't work for me for what I want to do. So, yeah. Oh, is there more chats? I could see them.
It's sort of weird, isn't it? It's like before, now not working the union, not being part of the union does mean a little bit lower wages. I mean, you're not going to make as much as a union member per se, but at the same time, when they roll into a strike like this, you're still working while they're not.
Yeah. And I have a lot of wonderful friends that are union and they do really, really well with wages and whatnot. But, when I was starting out with different agents and whatnot, if we worked a union job, they would just half-heartedly, right, I can never say it right. But so we get, you could get your SAG vouchers and you could join the union. But here in Las Vegas, it's like 2 auditions a year. And I would much rather do independent film myself personally and be able to just act. That's why I'm doing this. I love the craft. I love the art and I want to work. And I don't want to be background work. I have done it and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But this being non-union gives me a chance to be creative and go out and
the fact is that you are in demand. I mean people know who you are. You have a name, you have a cachet. When people want a dependable, a leading lady, a leading actress, they come to you. And do you have to audition very much for independents now? I was looking at your body of work, and the one thing that caught me was like, she doesn't audition anymore. They know what they're getting when they call you.
Well, trust me, I feel extremely privileged when I don't have to audition, and there's that trust factor. And I'm kind of glad that a lot of times I don't have to audition because I really, really suck at it. But I mean, yeah, there's been a few things I've auditioned for, whatnot, and I've had fun with the character. When I was with my different agents in town, yeah, of course you'd have to audition, and I auditioned a lot. But I think with the independent film, they have a character in mind, and if they know you can, pull it off, I take that like as such a high compliment when I do get cast in something and not audition. But for me, even on set, no matter what level, I'm always learning. I'm always taking instruction, and I'm always eager to learn new things. So if I ever did have to audition, I'd do it. It wouldn't be an issue to me. But I've been very, very fortunate enough not to have to do that recently. So,
well, I mean, the fact that you're saying that you're still willing to do it, and you're still looking to improve your craft. I mean, this is what I think a lot of younger actors need to hear from veterans such as yourself.
Well, thank you.
A lot of people feel like, wow, okay, I'm on a movie. I made a couple of movies. And I think a lot of times you see a lot of these younger actors, they go like, okay, now that I'm here and I made a couple of movies, I can relax. I can like, okay, I'm here. Look out, world. That means they don't have to do the hard work that they were doing before they got there. But when they see someone such as yourself, my favorite was, and I mentioned this before, my favorite story about an actor who continues to work on his craft was Harry Hamlin. He's 72 years old, and he says that he goes to acting class once a week.
See, yeah. Yeah. I've been to every single acting class here in Las Vegas. I took classes from Second City for a couple seasons I wanted to hone every single piece of my craft because at one time I was also doing theater. So it was important for me to learn improv, and every single workshop that I had been to, I've taken a little piece and I've used it here or there. And I never feel like I'm good enough to not try or not learn, because frankly, for me, that would just like be boring. Why would I do this? It would just be boring if I thought I was at the pier and just like, okay, and that's the glory of acting and doing different characters in movies is to be able to, learn different creative talents and characters. And I always tell people, like, the more hideous the character, the better I love them. Those are the fun ones. And there's a lot of people that don't want to play that, and it's like, to me, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take that one.
Oh yeah. You need a villain? Pencil me in. I'll kick ass.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean,
you need a motorcycle mama for Hellcat Revenge? Yeah, color me in. I'm right there.
Yeah. And just even if I haven't been like this extensive character in movies, every single movie I have been a character, and just the creative nature of discovering who they are and creating who they are. That's just all part of the fun. I mean, it's just, if this wasn't fun, I wouldn't do it. I mean, and it's like, yeah. So,
let's see. Steven has questions. He has a question. He goes, will there be another Hellcat movie with Lynn?
Well, you guys need to just get on Facebook and message Lynn, because I'm really hoping I can bring Rosie back. She was a lot of fun. He's really busy creating a bunch of other movies, and he does it so well. But I think everybody that, every actor that participated in Hellcat's Revenge wants him to bring it back so they can play their character again, because it was just so much fun.
Wow, that must have been absolutely blast to play in a movie like that, because I was talking about before you got here, and I think you're trying to think. You're probably too young for this, but back in the early 70s, late 60s, they used to have motorcycle movies all the time. I mean, if you go back to that time period, like Easy Rider, that was like
Yeah.
but back then in the 60s, they used to have motorcycle movies all the time. It
Oh
was
yeah. With
yeah,
Marlon Brando, and
yeah.
I don't know when Russ Myers did Kill Kill Faster Pussycat. What year was that in?
Oh gosh, that was in the 60s. That was like 66, 65.
65, 66. Yeah. So, and
Time.
it's funny because my character in Hellcat's Revenge was inspired by Turo Satana. And I contacted her daughters and I'm like, I want to really, pay homage to your mother. They sent me her jewelry, some of her blouses, and that's the lovely Lonnie Silverman and Turo's other daughter, Jade. But so I cut it out, and Lynn's like, this works. And then Ted V. Michaels, who was very close to Turo Satana, he gave me his bone necklace to wear, his tooth necklace that he wears is famous for. So that was my character, was not based on her character, but based on a similar look to Turo Satana in Faster Pussycat.
Steven mentioned 65. Yeah, I was right. I got it right. 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oldie but goodie.
Yeah. What a great title. It's got to be one of the top 10 titles of any movie.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the 60s, they were saying how cool the look was for Hellcat's Revenge. It looks straight from the 70s, it's like, man, this is neat. And I was, this is a nice throwback. And
it was uncommon for that era, yeah.
Yeah, there's another movie I was just talking about before he got here, and when I first saw it, I actually thought it was from the 60s too. I thought it was something I had never seen before. It's called The Love Witch, and then you go look at it. It looks straight from the 60s and 70s. I mean, swear to God, when you watch it, it's like, wow. You could even say it could be a French movie.
What is it called?
The Love Witch.
The Love Witch.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
It was made in 2016, but good Lord, you couldn't tell. You really can't tell.
I love that when they could take a recent movie and make it grainy like older ones. Steve Session, who I worked for doing Sinister at the House of Madness, Rika's Sasquatch, he's done so many, but he was known for that. And it really added so much mood to the movie that it made it that much more enjoyable to watch.
I don't think people really realize that, when you watch a movie like that and you do see that graininess superimposed into the film, like to age it a little bit. I think it's sort of like a subliminal to me. It's like when you watch it, subliminally taking you back to the 70s and the 60s, and that's pretty fun.
It is fun. Yes. I enjoy watching newer movies with that graininess and the old, that old feel. Yeah. Because this is when we all started watching these horror movies. So it kind of brings you back to that era, it's like, oh, it's like starting all over again. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, back when the Exorcist is now that people are talking about the Exorcist because it's the 50th anniversary, and the new movie just got released, and good Lord, there you go, you get taken back, to back to a different era. 50 years ago, the Exorcist came out, and who knew, who knew how much influence that movie would have. And sort of like Easy Rider, same thing. Easy Rider, or Hell's Angels, or any one of those motorcycle movies. And yet here they are. They're still reaching through the decades and putting their influence on what we do today. And it helps you become part of that history. You know?
Well, and there's a lot of independent filmmakers that want to bring back that feel. They want to bring back that genre movie, and they're so talented that they're able to do that and collaborate everything and make it happen. And that to this day just amazes me.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. What's your favorite '70s movie? What movie from the '70s
Oh my
you,
God.
you
You have to
remember
ask
the
me. Okay.
most?
Jeez, what would be my favorite 70s movie? You mean as far as horror goes?
Oh, just any movie. Because the
Oh,
'70s, the '70s were bleak as hell. If you think about,
well, they were, and that's around, I mean, so I was fairly young in the 70s. So, that it would be like the late 70s. And I remember that's when I think, is that when Karen Black came out? She was pretty popular. And I don't even know. I mean, like I have to admit, I grew up in a small town, like in the 70s. We were outside playing. We really never watched movies. But to go back now, I'm trying to think of a movie that was made in the 70s, and I'm
Karen
yeah.
Black did a trilogy of terror, and she also did a little
Yes,
family plot for Alfred Hitchcock, I believe.
that
So,
was one.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I mentioned the '70s because the endings were always so damn dark. Starting with the late '60s onward. Hell, almost any of the motorcycle movies there, they always end up really in dark times. Like the anti-hero, they would end up getting killed at the end of pretty much just about every movie.
Yeah,
Very rare that the motorcycle hero ever ride out with the girl on the back of the bike. Most of the time,
exactly.
most of the time they end up getting shot off the saddle like they did in Easy Rider.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny because I kind of went from horses and cowboys to the motorcyclists to the go-go dancers. It just kind of rode its way up for movies. I mean, when I like in the 70s, well, I think they had movie theaters then.
I think they did.
Anyway,
Hold on. I think let me see if I can remember this. I think they were called drive-ins.
oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, for us, like most of the time growing up and in such a, in an outdoor, we spent most of our time outdoors. And so it wasn't until like in the 80s, I started discovering movies and then back watching, from the 70s and all that crap. But yeah, in the 70s, I don't know what my favorite 70s movie would be. What would my favorite 70s movie be, Luke? My friend Luke is here with me. Godfather. Oh yeah, Godfather, of course.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
you can go with that. You can go with that. So let's talk about you a little bit. Let's talk about back when you were outside playing, so you didn't get to watch a lot of movies. So how did the acting bug catch you?
Okay, so well, I mean, my grandmother, she was an extra in movies, and John Wayne would always film in that small town that I grew up in. But my father was a musician. I came to Vegas, and I really just wanted to do something artsy and creative. And I meddled in a little bit of modeling. It was okay. It's not what I really wanted. But it's from there because I used to go through the newspaper to find jobs for modeling or this or that. And that's where I found, they're auditioning for this movie. And I went there. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't get the movie, of course, but there was an acting coach there because they were having the rehearsals in his acting studio. And I was looking at his classes and I was like, wow, you could do this. You could take acting classes. And I signed up. And instantaneously, I fell in love with it, and I just continued from there on. So that's pretty much it. I got the acting bug through Discovery, so that's how it happened.
Just pretty much by accident, then, right?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Or did you say your grandmother started as did extra work, or did she take you aside and did you see her work and did that help?
So there's a few photos that I have of her, but she did this when my father was 11, so I wasn't conceived yet, and my grandmother died when I was a very young age. But this was during part of the Depression, so they would do anything they could to make money, and plus they would feed them on set, so it was a big deal to be. And my grandmother, she was like this movie hound. She wanted to be famous, and she was a character anyway. But so that was like right up her alley to go do all that stuff. She's like, yeah, I'll do it.
That's still fun though. I mean, even doing an older John Wayne movie, that's still really fun. That's a fun story to share.
Oh yeah, I actually have his autograph, which is really cool thing to have, but and I've had a great time being extra on set too. I mean, it's you can learn so much from being an extra on set. You can learn about everything, the sound, the audio, the camera. You can, if you just sit back and observe. And I learned a lot just by doing that and being an extra in a movie. Some people call it atmosphere, some people call it extra. I don't know what the proper name for it is now because I'm kind of out of that loop. But yeah,
I call it acting. I mean, you're there to learn. You're there, even when you're sitting there and you're not, have any lines, but you're back there, but you're still learning. You're still watching how things work, see how things move. That's part of being an actor. When you go to acting class, you're an actor.
Yeah.
So I call it. That's how I treat it.
Well, and I mean, doing extra work or acting or atmosphere, whatever it is. I mean, I had like 2 wonderful opportunities. One time, I was on a CD-ROM game I ended up on, and another time I ended up in a cameo for a television show and met great people. So, I mean, not a cameo speaking part, but just, maybe the lingo's changed, but that's what they call it then. So, there's a lot of wonderful opportunity, and that is stuff that I could put on my resume that really was good. So,
yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere. We got some questions. We got questions. People are starting to throw questions.
Oh, okay.
We're doing 70s movies too. We're mentioning our favorite 70s movies because it was bleak. Our good friend, film director Chadwick Whitmer, mentioned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That had a classic 70s ending where everybody bought the farm, just about. Yes. Halloween and Carrie, same thing. The original Have Eyes. Hills Have Eyes. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of people invited. Cheetah wants to know what scene took the most takes for you when you did Hellcat's Revenge?
What was the question?
What scene had the most takes for Hellcat's Revenge? I mean, what was your hardest scene to film in Hellcat's Revenge?
Now we're talking about the first movie.
Yeah. Are you talking about Hellcat? Hellcat, yeah, Hellcat's Revenge. Yeah.
Oh gosh, the shoot it went pretty smooth. I'm trying to think. Wow. Let's see. Maybe it was the first one because it was a very first scene that we were shooting for the movie. So we were still trying to set up, and we did, had to do quite a few takes to get it rolling. But I have to say that most stuff I do with Len, it's pretty smooth. I mean, with on Dead Man's Hand, the second Hellcat's Revenge, we had to do a lot of takes when I was doing the tattoo parlor scene on the phone. But the reason why is because we had shot late into the morning the night before, and I had to be on set the next day. And for some reason, I was severely dehydrated. I was tired, and I could not remember my lines. It was like, I can't remember my lines. So that probably took more takes than any in both the movies. And, when you have to take takes, it could be just because, it's the angle or the sound wasn't right or something like that. But, and it's kind of cool if you do get to do more than one take because it kind of drives you to be more intense, if you will, if the director allows you to be. So
it's the hardest scene to shoot, the very first one of any movie. Is that always like everybody thinks that the first shot would be the easiest? Everybody's so excited, but is it like that, or is the first shot really some of the most difficult because you are just shooting the first scene in the movie?
So it might be more awkward, but I guess it depends on how you look at it. Because for me, it's exciting, so I'm raring to go and work. So I think it's probably could be a little bit more awkward for everybody, but it depends on who you're working with, the atmosphere around you. So I wouldn't say difficult. I would say it's just, but usually once you spit your first line out, then it's like, oh, yay. And you just start rolling with it and have fun. whether I do it right, whether it's not good or whatever. But it's like, so yeah, but I mean, like I said, the more takes you get, it's and the first scene, you know, sometimes you can go in there like really, really intense because you're raring to go, and they can say, "Hey, Donna, you know, tone it down just a little." And I'm, as you could tell by my hands, I'm like super animated, so I'm getting told to take it down a notch here and there.
Did they give you stuff to hold so you don't do that?
No, I've made a conscious decision when I'm working to really, you know, and you know, when I build up a character, I build what the character's going to do with their hands. If they have a twitch, if they have this, so a lot of times because of my hands, I will try to build that into the character, so I'm not constantly, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know this until I read it with somebody, but a lot of times they say they'll give an actor like a cigarette or a beer or something to hold on to, so they have something in their hand, so their hands aren't flying everywhere. You know, their hands are grounded.
Well, I mean, it's, as an actor, it's always easy to push out a line when you're doing something with your hands.
Right.
You know, because it really helps you build the character no matter what you're doing. So a lot of times I'll find something to do with my hands, even if I have a little straw in my hand while I'm talking and it's off camera. It's weird how it helps, but it does.
Yeah, you have in Hellcat's Revenge, you're sitting there at the bar, you're chewing a straw while you're talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted my character to kind of have something to tweak, because originally I wanted her to have a cigar. So I told that I want her to smoke a cigar. I think that would be cool. And then a few other characters were smoking cigars, so I didn't get to. So we were filming in a topless bar. We filmed that scene, and I walked by and there's some coffee stirrers or drink stirrers, whatever they are, on there. And so I grabbed one and I put it in my mouth. I like, this will be it. This will work for me. And I followed that through my character into the second movie. That was the opening scene. She's chewing on that stir. And when she walks up to, you know, Lisa Nell that I was playing with, she, you know, she spits it out on the ground. So.
Right. Yes. It's cigar. Have you ever smoked a cigar before? Or do you smoke it?
I smoked a cigar. I can't breathe for 2 days, but yeah, I smoked one.
That'd be badass. You gotta do that for one of your movies for sure.
There's a cigar bar here. Well, I have in Nightmarish. It was a small cigar, and that's actually the opening scene. Is I have this little what are those called? Those little mini cigars. And I was. Yes, it was a cigarello. And that was the opening scene, was the camera panned in, and I'm sitting there just smoking a cigarello. And I loved that look. It was so cool to do, you know?
Now, how about you as an actor? And sometimes sometimes, you know, directors will have storyboards and they'll shoot their film out of sequence, you know, like, you know,
yes.
your first day, you could be shooting a critical scene that's, you know, hour into the movie. Do you like shooting out of sequence? Do actors as a whole, and you specifically, would you rather shoot off a straight sequence like TV, or is it okay for you to do it out of sequence in a movie? What do you prefer shooting?
It literally makes no difference to me. I'm used to shooting out of sequence. You know, there was when we did Alien Wars up in Oregon with Jeff Schneider, we actually shot 3 movies in 1 week. And I was the lead in one, and then I had 2 small parts in the others. But so we were shooting out a sequence with everything. But to me, that's like the creative nature that I really like. It's a good challenge. And being challenged as an actor or actress, for me, personally, this is one of the reasons why I enjoyed the craft of it. And like, there was a movie I did, Uncommon Bond, in January of 2020 with Luc Beignet and Mark. Crap, I'm having a horrible time with names. But anyway, so there was a sequence. It's a very dramatic movie. It's about a woman losing her son. So there was one sequence I had to shoot, like literally crying and getting completely hysterical, and then turn around and shoot like the beginning of the movie the next day. I mean, it's part of it. And so, it depends on I memorize the movie by my scene. So it doesn't matter which scene's going to go where. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have fun with it. But doing that scene, so it has to coincide with the next scene you do. Like you can't, if they want to, start out with a slow burn, you can't. It's all part of the fun. You can't start out with like the most hysterical, dramatic, how you want your character. You've got to go along with the script and what the script entails and what the director wants and what the producer wants. So, but to answer this question that I've drug out for 20 minutes, it makes no difference to me. Sorry.
It's a great answer.
Are people leaving? Am I boring people?
No, not at all. Nope. And the only person that matters is me and the cheetah.
Oh, we love the cheetah.
That's right. He's actually right above you. You can see him. There's a picture of him.
Yeah.
You see on the upper right hand, probably on your upper left hand. That's the cheetah.
Oh, it's a kitty cat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's half cheetah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
No, the fans here, they've been looking forward to this. I can tell you this. People have been looking forward to this. Yeah.
That really means so much to me, and I really appreciate that. You have no idea.
Oh, we're
I'm honored to be here.
This is a lot of fun already. I know everybody else is already having a lot of fun as well. So I must be hard for you, even as a veteran though. How hard is it to go there to a deep, because most of the characters you play are badasses. They're like, you don't really see you as the the emotional type. Most of the time you're just there kicking ass and taking names. And but how hard is it for you to get into that emotional role, to actually have to cry for a scene? Is that difficult for you to do?
Well, that whole scene was done improv, and I'm very grateful that I got to do it improv. So it made it a little bit easier to get into the intensity of the crying. And not only was her behavior crying, I mean, she was like, you have to make crying look real. So, and with her and what she was going through, my character, she was angry, she was hurt, she was laughing through it. I mean, so all that brought into the crying. So to get into that, because it was improv, I was really worried that it was going to be difficult to shoot that scene, and it went so much better. And I just kept going with it and going with it. And I mean, there was a lot of footage shot and edited, together afterwards. And, usually when you watch yourself as an actor, I'm all with my but with that scene, I literally almost started crying watching myself. I was like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, and different, but if somebody says, okay, you need to cry for this, it's like, I can't do that, so, but you just have to find a way to make it happen. And if you're really, truly into your character and the scene is real and your partner is real, it's really actually easier to cry and find that emotion than people realize.
And then when they cut, you just go gather yourself. I mean, you don't stand there while they're setting up. Do you stand there after a cut? Like, it's like, okay, it's a cut. Do you go ahead and leave set for a couple of minutes to get yourself back together? Because it does drain you a little bit.
It does, but like, if we're cut for the day, I'll walk away and I'll be like either feeling really good or really bad about my take. It's not like, I don't feel like that's taken anything out of me, because it's something that I love to do. So, I mean, if there's been a few emotional, scenes or whatnot, but it's like the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm tired today, but it never, I mean, this is what screwed Marilyn Monroe up. I never let it affect me. It's the character. It's who my character is. And I mean, I guess it would depend on the scene, if I had to do something that was like real horrible person was doing or something, and I had to dig inside to try to find something because it's so unrealistic to me.
Yeah.
As far as maybe like something perverse, that might be different, but I haven't done that yet, and I haven't had to do it yet. Thank God.
It's
Doesn't
funny.
mean anybody can cast me. What?
It's funny is that I've asked, we've talked to a lot of actors who've talked about dying on scene. What was it like?
Dying is hard.
Here's the question I haven't asked yet, but I'll ask you. What's it like killing somebody on screen?
It's amazing.
I mean, because I've never asked that question yet.
Well, again, yeah.
363 episodes, I've never asked anybody. So what's it like to kill somebody? So what was it like?
So it depends on who you're killing. It can be difficult though, because they're trying to get the camera angles just right and everything. And you're like, okay, you have to make it look believable. But
you
it depends on your character.
I'm ready to go.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I've stabbed people, in Hellcats. But in the character, I just grabbed the gun and like, bam, shot her in the head, because that's what my character would do. I think, killing people's easy in films. Dying is not, because it's something we have not experienced. So we have nothing to pull through, and you don't want to be the, oh God, I mean, it's hard dying. So I'd rather be the killer.
Is it more fun dying or killing?
Oh, it's more fun killing. Yes, absolutely. Without a doubt. Because then again, you're killing someone, you're the villain. So,
So I think you like playing the villain much more. You like playing I don't know. I think your characters, from what I've always seen, your characters are more anti-heroes than I've seen straight out. Just, while I was watching your work, I'm like, okay, so she's rough and tough, but she's not like 100% evil. She's more anti-hero. She's not like a raging, she's not a raging bitch. It's like, no, she's not evil. She's just, she just has a certain way about her, Now, do you like playing anti-heroes more than heroes? I mean, if someone says, okay, Donna, we're going to have you play the good girl, and you're going to go around wearing a dress and have a husband and 2 kids and a dog in the yard. Or are you more happy playing just playing like you're playing Beverly, Angels Reckoning?
Yeah. She was a fun character, and she literally was the villain. But so I always tell people, playing a normal, average, everyday person, to me personally, and I've heard it from others, is the most difficult person to play, because characters, if there's a character or anything else you could pull from that, like an everyday person, you have to try to pull. And I'm not meaning to demean anybody saying that there's everyday people out there, but I'm saying, like, basically the hardest character to play is your everyday self, somebody you would be every day. So you have more to pull from playing the anti-hero. Playing the hero, usually they want a specific thing with you, and it's hard to pull from that too. So, I mean, but I have to tell you, even if I'm playing a housewife, I try to find little tinks here and there that she does or whatever. So I always try to find the character in that, and I have complete enjoyment with that as well. But being the bad guy is always fun, because you can't get away with that in life, but you can. So yeah.
The chat is flying here. Let me bring everybody up to date. Our good friend Hobbs Horse here. Our friend Jim for now Stark is here. Throwing out the cat power. Steven says he got starstruck by Donna, especially when she called me hubby.
Yeah.
Me and the Cheeto, we both think that Cheetos rule. So I heard a dog out there, so I was going to ask you if you have a dog or a cat. But
I'm in my bedroom. I actually have 4 dogs, and I think my niece came home, so they went crazy.
Oh, okay.
I'm just happy they're not scratching at my door like they usually do. So,
Steven wants to know. He has a question for you. He says, "How long did it take? Did you have to sit in the chair for the tattoos in the Hellcat films?"
You mean to get them on me?
Yeah.
Even? It didn't take that long because it was an actual tattoo artist that did it, and he used his ink pens to do it. The hardest part with those was keeping them on because it just kept sweating off my face and my arm. Everybody else's tattoos were staying on but mine. So it took probably, it probably took him maybe 30 minutes to do. And he was super excited to do them because I had contacted Len and Chris, who was, doing the movie. And I'm like, because they wanted biker girls. I'm like, hey, and I sent him a picture of a Moko tattoo from New Zealand. I'm like, can I get this on my face? I think that would just be so cool. And Len's like, I don't know, ask Chris. And Chris had called me. He's like, this is what I want. I want tribal. So, it was kind of cool because my grandfather came from the Maori tribe. Huh?
You had the Maori one, right? That's the one you had on your chin for
Maori Indian, yes, yes. And my grandfather came from that tribe, so it was nice to pay homage to him. So
I saw that. I'm like, man, that looks really good. I was wondering
how. I loved it. I thought it was super cool, and I think it added so much to Rosie's character. I mean, for a woman to have her face tattooed and not, yeah.
Pat Master is here. Hi, Pap. How are you? He
says,
hello to you. He says you're hot. That's awesome. Hops wants to know thoughts on working on the Gore Theater franchise.
Oh, Gore Theater. Okay, so I have my little cheat sheet here because I've done a few Gore Theater. So they've all been released, and so let's see here. Gore Theater. Let's see, oh my God, I've done so many. There's the home video. So the Gore Theater, that was nightmarish, right? Yeah. So Gore Theater was nightmarish. And I'm so sorry. What was your question?
What was it like working on the franchise?
Oh, amazing. I love being a part of any kind of, movies with anybody from Britain, Germany, all that. And I feel so honored to be able to do so. But with working on that and doing the movie Nightmarish, which is the one I was telling you where I had the small cigar, when that came out and I watched it, and actually Deborah Dutch and I did that together, and we watched it together for the first time. And our friend Luc Beignet is the one that produced it, wrote it, everything. He's an amazing, talented person. So when the first time we watched that and saw what was the outcome of it, we were so excited, and for it to be part of that. Was that an anthology? Yeah, it was completely honored. Yes.
Anthologies are fun.
Tony Newton that did that? No, that was, it was Tony Newton. Yes. Tony Newton's amazing. I think I've worked on 3 different projects. Yeah. And he really, he lets you be creative. He just wants the content he wants. But he lets you really be creative with everything else. And that's like such a plus as an actor or a producer for them just to let you go, and they either accept it or they don't. But yeah, I would do that over and over again. Anything for Tony Newton. He's an amazing, amazing person.
Anthologies are fun. Anthology is hard for an actor to gear up for. I mean, knowing that basically you're going to be part of a short film within a feature film, and you go in knowing that your segment's only going to be about 10 to 12 minutes long. Do you approach that like shooting a short film, or do you approach that as working in a feature film, even though it's an anthology?
I approach it like I'm in a great big huge production film. I mean, whether it's 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute on film, or an hour and a half as a leading person, I approach them all the same, and I don't look at any of them any different. I'm just proud to be part of that ensemble. I'm very honored for that, no matter what.
I love anthology films, but I never knew how one approaches it. I mean, I know they had two really well-known anthologies called the ABCs of Death, and in it, every segment was between 1 to 3 minutes long. And I'm just thinking, how hard would that be as an actor? I mean, especially when they're trying to get they're trying to get some name actors into it, and it's like how it was mostly the directors are trying to get all these really hip directors going into it. I was just wondering how hard would that be, knowing that you had to make a 1 to 3 minute segment for is that something that's easy to do, or is it just something or is it something that you would try to maybe want to, I don't know. To me, a regular anthology would be easier to do because you have more time to breathe, to tell a story. But those little short ones from ABCs of Death, I don't know. They seem really, really tight and small. And I'm just wondering how much room does an actor have within that little period of
well, again, it's not just something that you just throw away. I throw away. And it's part of the creative process. So it's even more challenging to put it in there. I did that one, the Mirror, in an anthology, and it was very, very short, but what was put in there, I had a blast doing it. I mean, it took literally 20 minutes to film, 30 minutes to film, but the creative process was there for me, and I would do it again and again. So
cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Let me catch up with the chat. Let's see. Jim says he just realized he was behind because him and I were talking about the Love Witch. He loved it. He's already watched it. He loved it. I'm going to be watching it. Let's see. Pap is saying hello. Hops is throwing up pumpkin.
Hi.
Everybody's hitting the like button. Share us out if you can. Yeah, share us out if you'd like to. All right. So, what 3 roles have been the most challenging for you in your career? And I'm thinking it'd probably be some of the earlier roles that you started. Was it harder for you? Do you remember starting out? Was it harder for you then to shape a character when you were first starting out?
It was because I was green. I didn't have enough experience. I was green. I still had fun with it though on Ted V. Michael's, Astro Zombies, and I was still doing my acting workshops and theater and all this. So I had already been in quite a bit of theater by the time I got into doing the movies. So one of the hardest characters I ever played was Loose Luck with Jeff Schneider, and it has not been reduced. It has not been released yet. It's due to be released soon. It's on the list. But I play this woman she moves away, gets rid of her husband. She just wants to be free, and she meets somebody else, and it has some amazing actors and actresses in it, and Jeff is an amazing producer. But just play in that, because you have to, again, this is what I was saying earlier. I had to kind of just play myself, and I was trying to bring creative, but you can't bring too much or this or that. And that was probably by far one of the most difficult parts I've ever played.
Because you brought two. Did they want you to bring yourself? Did they basically want you to play?
I think it's just in general, as an actor or actress, this is what you do. You're playing, this is your character, and you read the script, and it's like, but I mean, I have to say, like, the people I was acting opposite with, Carl the Coach Bailey and my dear friend Ilan Udi, they made it so much easier for me to accomplish trying to make it, the way I wanted it.
What's funny is you mentioned playing yourself in this role, and I'm as I live, and I'm thinking, I'm going like, man, this is me yesterday. So I'm watching this movie. This is so interesting. So watching this movie yesterday is called Rootwood.
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 Okay.
Yeah. And it has Elissa Dowling. I'm sure these are names you know.
Okay. Yes.
Elissa Dowling. Sarah French. Rose and Tyler Gallant.
I know. Yeah, they're in LA, based LA, I think.
Yes.
All very talented people. Very talented.
So I'm watching this movie yesterday, Donna. I'm not even kidding you. I'm watching it, and I'm going like, they're not really playing parts. They're just themselves. They're not really. I mean, if you watch it, what you're seeing, you're seeing friends. They
Mhm.
know each other. They're familiar with each other's work, and they know each other, and it comes across as friends, not like, okay, I'm a character and I'm playing I'm playing a role. It was just they're playing themselves. They didn't have to stretch at all to play a character. They're
Yeah, and I don't know what their relationship is, but to pull that off where the audience actually comes across as, seeing that in the movie just shows what talent they really have.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was, I'm sitting there watching this, and so well, I might have to have you defend me here. Um,
Okay.
okay, so I did watch that movie. Oh boy. So that's actually the first movie I've ever seen with Felicia Rose in it.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So she's done quite a few, and she's
180,
another talent. Yeah.
180 movies, but this is the first time I've ever watched her on screen.
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid my fanboy card is going to get revoked, but I got a Hellcat here, so revoke my card at your peril.
I don't know if I could go up against her.
Yeah, oh, see, there they go. Oh boy, nope. I've never seen. Okay, someone say good night. See, wait, you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp?
But you know what? You watched it last night, so you can't say that you've never watched anything
No,
with her
now,
in
yeah,
it
but
because you did watch something last night. So here, I'm the Hellcat sticking up for this dude. Leave him alone and get back on here now.
that's right. Cats stick together, baby. So what have been your as far as the most meaningful roles that you played, and the character that you can identify with most, and what about them endears them to you even now?
Oh my God. That's I get asked that a lot, and it's such a
Okay,
difficult
well,
question
you know
to
what?
answer.
You know what? We'll pull it away because I don't want to ask a boring question. So let me ask you a better question.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, in working in the genres, horror and thrillers, what is the biggest difference for you as an actor when you approach a character in a thriller movie or a horror movie? I mean, what kind of preparations do you do this differently? Because they're two different genres.
They
There's two
are,
different
yes.
genres.
And that's a really, really good question. And the answer is that whenever I get a script, I read the whole script. I'll sometimes read it 2 or 3 times, trying to get the gist of it. I always approach it the same exact way. It's just that it's played out different ways. It's done this different ways. It's done that different ways. So it's a really technical question, and it's not the easiest to answer. But yeah, okay. So if I'm in a thriller movie, like I'm using swords and fighting off people and this and that. So that's more of I think a lot of it would be more of a physical type thing that I'd be considering. But no matter what the lines are, or if I'm in a horror where I have to scream or I'm getting killed, it's like I'm still going to break the lines down, break the script down into the acting according to what character I'm playing. If that
uh,
makes sense.
that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. More chat. The chat's popping tonight, and I'm glad to see it.
Yay. Hi, everyone.
Steve was the one that asked me. He says, "Wait, you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp?" Yeah, but I got my fanboy card is still intact, defended. The Hoff says, "I've never seen him pull a question for boredom." Yeah, I don't like asking the same 20 questions everybody else asks her. I'm gonna ask her better questions.
Can I just give a quick shout out to Stephen Chang, right?
You certainly
I
can.
love Stephen's such an amazing person. He
really
has done so much for the horror community. And yeah, Stephen, you rock.
Yeah, he really works his ass off. He
Everybody
promotes
loves Stephen, yeah.
He loves the movies. He loves the movies. He loves the actors. He has nothing but respect for them. He's very compassionate about them. So yeah, that's the way it should be, right?
Absolutely. He's nice.
Stephen wants to know that he says, what's it like working with Deborah Dutch and Lisa Neal?
Okay. So, I mean, well, Debbie Dutch is one of my closest friends. And so working on set, I'll start with Deborah. We have a lot of fun, but when we're on, we have a lot of fun. We'll actually rehearse our characters and build off each other. And I mean, it's like when we're actually rolling, it's serious but we're still having fun and enjoying that because we're feeding off each other's characters. And Deborah's amazing to work with. And Lisa she is completely professional. She's an amazing actress. She's an amazing sweetheart. And both of these girls, Deborah and Lisa, make my job so much realistic, which makes it so much easier to do a scene with. And I mean, that is an appreciation that I thoroughly enjoy. I can roll anything off them. In the last Hellcats, I told Lisa, I said, Lisa, my character, I'm going to come up and like sniff you and be all creepy because that's my character. She's like, oh, cool. I mean, you can't just get that with anybody. And Deborah, oh my God, I don't even have to say that to Deborah. I could just do it. She'd be like, oh, okay. But so working with both of them is a completely amazing experience. And there's so many actresses out there that do just beautiful, amazing, talented work that I aspire to work with someday. There's so many. But I've also been able to work with so many that I've wanted to work with, and Deborah and Lisa are two of them. So it's nice.
How do performers handle someone coming on stage with a little bit of an ego or attitude, like a prima donna attitude? I mean, how does a cast work around somebody like that? Well, is there things that you guys can do? Have you ever had to take someone aside and say, we're all here, we're all at the same level? Has that ever happened?
No, because usually people that come on set like that don't take to criticism. And this is one of my downfalls, is I have an extremely low tolerance for that. We all are on set. We want to make a movie. We want to make the movie good. And when you have egos that get in the way, it gets in the way of the creative nature of doing so. I feel so. And if somebody puts a stop with their ego to me and everybody else on set trying to create, it literally drives me insane. And sometimes I have said something to them, not in a mean way, but a nonchalant way, to, it's like, hey, to let them know. I have zero tolerance for that. Zero.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, if that does that ever happen? I mean, sometimes you get some of the
it's happened before.
I think some of the hardest things, hardest sets would be is when you work with somebody whose star is dimmed a little bit. They no longer were, the same name as they were maybe 10 years ago or whatnot, but they still feel like that they should be still treated like that.
I have to say it's very, very few times I've come across that, fortunately. And so it's not something I usually have to deal with that. But if somebody feels like that, usually all the collaboration of people that I've worked with are the first one to pep them up again, bring them back up. It's like, hey, let's make this happen. Let's make it work. So usually there's one person here in Las Vegas, and, they were kind of known to do that. And I think it's the insecurity. I think a lot of ego a lot of times has to do with insecurity. I don't think that I'm any bigger. I don't think I'm a big star. I don't think I'm any bigger or better than I was when I first began acting. I feel like I've learned a lot more, and I've had more fun than I used to have because I've learned a lot more. But egos, it's like I've heard people say, and women have a hard time with this, and I can understand a part of it, but not most of it. But it's like they don't want to play anything that's unattractive. It's like, no, I don't want to be ugly on film.
Yeah. That's a good way. Yeah, I that's one of the things I look for with an actress. And to me, I look for an actress who's not afraid to get dirty.
Oh God, that's the fun.
Oh my God! To get out there, roll in the dirt, and to look unattractive. I mean, I've seen so many beautiful actresses do that. They're like, "What do you want me to do? You want me to roll in the dirt and get in the mud and fling it? No problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Well, it's your job. It's your job as that character. If that's what they want, it's your job to do it. And if you're physically unable, sometimes they will work with you or whatnot. But it's like we've all had to do unpleasantries, but you do what you have to do to make the scene work and to make it look good for the film. That's the bottom line.
Do you ride? I mean, did you learn how to ride a motorcycle for Hellcats, or did you already know how to ride one?
No, not for Hellcats. I learned to ride a motorcycle for a movie years and years ago that I did. I usually don't do a lot of promotion of it, but so that movie I had to learn to ride a motorcycle, and thank God my brother-in-law took me out, and I had it in third gear in 2 days on a crotch rocket. I was like, to me, that's a big deal. But I had to learn to do that in 2 days, and I had to learn to do a burlesque fan dance in 2 days. So riding, it was fun. If I could have done it in Hellcats, I mean, I'm pretty green. So if they said do this on the motorcycle, I probably wouldn't have done it because I would have been saying I don't feel safe, and you probably have an expensive bike here. So, But I mean, had they let me know like 6 months before you're going to be riding a bike, I would have been able to ride a bike in it. I would have made sure I'm able. You do whatever you have to make the character work, and that's a fun.
What's the kind of skill that you picked up during your career, like riding a motorcycle? What's some of the things you've learned how to do since you became an actress?
Well, I guess riding a motorcycle was one, and I'm not a professional. I just learned to ride it. The burlesque fan dance, and I'm trying to think. Oh, so like when we were filming 10 Violent Women Part 2 for Ted Michaels, he passed away, and sadly the movie wasn't finished. But when so I had to learn to lip sync and make it look real. So I'm on stage. And so I had to memorize all these songs. So that was actually a lot of fun to do and make it look that I enjoyed that. But I'm trying to think. I don't think I've done too much. I mean, like Len in Challenge of Five Gauntlets, I was supposed to play a different part. And he texted me. He's like, "Are you okay with holding a snake?" I go, "Well, yeah." And then I hurried up and I texted him back. I go, "Well, I don't want to hold a cobra." But yeah, just other than that, the little things. I mean, that's a fun part of learning. And I've never done anything too extensive that I can think of. But
do you ever shoot a gun?
Oh yeah, I grew up shooting guns. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Don't want to hold a cobra.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm not a huge big gun enthusiast or anything. That's a whole different subject.
You mentioned, I just caught you when you mentioned earlier about not talking about a certain movie. Are there movies, like if people came up to you, because sometimes you hear people say, "Well, I'm new to you. And I've never watched a Donna Hamblin movie before," which I should put this. Let me put this back on me. I've never watched a Felicia Rose movie before. So which one should I watch? But if they use that question for you, if I came up to you and says, "I don't," it's not true because I have watched your movies. But if I have never seen your movies before, and I said, "Donna, I'm new to you. Which 3 movies would you tell me to watch, and what's one movie you would tell me to skip?"
What? You can't do that to me. Well, the 3 movies, oh gosh, that's tough. Okay. Well, definitely for the character work, Hellcat's Revenge. Uncommon Bond gets some fantastic reviews. There's so many, and like I filmed with Michael Rodriguez, it's a black and white genre. It's a Last American Horror Show. I think it's on Tubi TV. It's hard to pick 3, I mean, there's so many I would give out. And the one I would tell people to stay away away from. There's actually two. I won't publicly shame people. So
Is it because it was a really unpleasant shoot, or was it because the movie itself just wasn't very good, like the story or
yeah, I guess kind of a mixture of stuff like that. There's, I mean, one I was sick as a dog for. I mean, I had this horrible flu, and I flew out anyway, sick as a dog. I had no voice. I had nothing. And I was sleeping in between scenes whenever I could. And it was so fast. It was outside. And, then afterwards, because I was so sick, the producer went around telling everybody I was a diva. So it's like, that's one I just don't promote because of that. It's like, okay, whatever, go make another movie in 5 minutes. But anyway, and the other one, I just really didn't want to, it's not something I promote a lot. The movie's really, really good, and I like the movie a lot. But I think as far as the sexual nature in the movie, it's not for everybody. And I had no idea what the nature was in the movie because I was kind of hired last minute to do a lot of stuff in it until after I watched it. And I was like, oh, and then one of the scenes on set is like, oh my God, it's like, is this like soft porn or what? It wasn't, but anyway, so those are the two I don't recommend. And the second one is not because it's bad or because it was a bad experience. It's just because it wouldn't be for everybody. So I wouldn't recommend it.
See, our friend Pap has a question for you. He's saying, do you know anything about Tucson, Arizona, or the state of Arizona? Have you ever filmed a movie in Arizona? Have you ever worked in Arizona?
Not yet, but I've wanted to. Arizona is beautiful. I've driven through, and believe it or not, on my Facebook, I follow the Tucson gardening page on my Facebook because their climate's so much like ours. And I mean, it's not easy getting stuff to grow in the middle of the desert. So, but yes, I would definitely be willing to film in Arizona. It's something I've wanted to do. I would not want to wear leather in the middle of summer in filming in Tucson.
Oh my
God!
God.
I would do it if I had to. You might.
No. When you shoot in Vegas, don't you generally have to go out there and do most of your shooting either in the morning or the evening?
Yes, and which is good because that's the twilight hour anyway. It's good for lighting. But when we did the Nightmarish segment for Gore Theater, that was right in the middle of a heat wave. I mean, on my deck in the shade, it was 127 degrees. So we went out there super early and shot that. The lighting still works, everything still works, but there's no way we could have shot that in the middle. First of all, you have sweat all over you all the time, so you're constantly having to freshen it, unless that works for your character. But yeah, most of the stuff is shot indoors. But there was part I did the $1 million Dollar Baby movie for Stephen King. And they shot a lot of that outside and in the car, in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the day. But they made it work. You get in the car, you get air conditioned, you get out, you shoot, so usually they can make you pretty comfortable with it. But it's not what we want to do. But again, if it works for your character, you have to.
It was funny because I watched this movie called Death Valley, and I had it was good. It was a really good movie, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the movie, and I'm going like, I'm realizing that I bet they shot this all in the movie. It looks like it was all in the morning. So I actually messaged one of the actors, and I said, "You guys shot all that in the morning, right?" It says that was all morning shoot. He goes, "Yeah, you saw that? You picked that up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I noticed that." It says, "Yeah, we couldn't shoot during the day. It's too hot."
Yeah. Well, in the wintertime, you can shoot. It's fine, and I mean, it depends, but a lot of people, a lot of producers, they all have vacation time in the summer. So that's a popular time to shoot movies for a lot of people. So yeah, here it's hot.
Now, we've been talking about a lot of your past films. But I want to, because I mean, this was what really caught me, because I thought this is so much fun right here. I love this. This just tells me exactly what I said before the beginning of our talk was, people know who you are. They know what they're getting. They're getting a dependable, talented pro. Because I'm looking at your upcoming movies, and most people have like 1 or 2 or 3, right? You have 11 that are in some sort of production. Either pre-production, post-production, shooting, in production. So talk about some of your new films that are coming up that you're excited about. The one I caught my eye was the Krampus Carol.
Yes. So, one of the editors was just contacted the other day asking questions from the lead actor in that movie, Luke. So that one, it's in post-production. So I think it's going to come up on another editor. Sometimes you find people and they say, I'm going to finish it, and they don't finish it. And this unfortunately happens a lot in the industry, and on trust, and things come up for no reason to the person who's working on it. So that one is in post, and I think it's getting ready to go into like a final edit. And I am so excited to see that movie. Oh my God, was that fun? All the characters are so much fun, so amazing in it. So that's going to be hopefully like any day soon, maybe any month soon. My fingers are crossed, because
we do love Christmas here.
Yeah, and this, with the Krampus, it's fun. Bringing that into the horror industry, of course, because he's creepy. But I love my character, Frau Parchte, and I knew nothing about her. I didn't know there was like a Christmas witch, and I didn't know how evil she was, and started reading about her. And just with the creative writing that Jake Zelch did, it was like he come up with this. So I was able to dive in and just take from so many different places and have fun with her. And he allowed me to try to just get as creative as I wanted. I had to learn a German accent, which hopefully plays off well. He let me sing. I'm like, can I sing like I was looking it up. There's a German version of Carol of the Bells about Krampus that's just creepy as hell. So I'm like, can I sing this? And so all that. So anyway, I'm babbling on. Yes, that's going to be out.
No, I was going to ask you to show us some of that German accent, to tell you the truth.
Oh, yeah. That's like my famous saying. If I fix something, I'm like, it's better fixed. So, and I have Nicole Holt, who's an amazing actress. She's done a lot of movies with Jim DeVolt in Texas, and she actually called me. I'm like, I need help. And so she was able to help me. I'm like, and I have a lot of friends in Germany, and I worked for Timo Rose in Germany. And I'm like, well, I hope we're still friends after they see this. Hope I didn't like totally annihilate and kill this language.
You got a really good cast as well. Your friend Luke, who's there, who's helping you with your backyard. He's in it, along with Helene Udi. She's a really cool lady.
Donna Lee Heising. Who else? There was It was quite the ensemble, and everybody had great characters to have fun with. So,
and you get to work with another horror icon. You got to work. I'm not sure if you get to do a scene with her or not. But did you get the chance to meet Brink Stevens?
So I have worked on the same movie as her, but I've never really collaborated on a movie with her or got to work with her. No, she worked on one of Ted's movies that I worked on.
She was actually the very first horror icon I ever met. I went to my very first convention was in the mid '80s, and she was the very first one I ever met, as far as a horror actress goes. She was the very first person I ever met. So
she's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's a talented actress.
Smart. She's hella smart. She was good. She got a degree in marine biology.
So I've heard. Yes, that's impressive.
So the Krampus Carol, and then the other one I saw because it seemed like I'm going like, man, she's doing a lot of Christmas movies, and it's called Xmas 3 Santa Insane.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about.
So
Now, is that still,
Xmas 2 is complete, and that's with producer John Ward. Where is that at? I have look at my list of movies I have and where they're released. That's my cheat sheet, so I can't find. Anyway, excuse me, John. I think it's on Tubi. A lot of my movies are on Tubi TV. Yeah. So Xmas 3, we're waiting for the script. He's been discussing he wants to do Xmas 3, and he has Drew Marverick, who's here in town to play Santa Claus, and he's an amazing actor and is like perfect.
Yeah, he did. I think he did Angel of Reckoning, didn't he?
Huh?
I think he was in Angel of Reckoning, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Drew, he didn't do Angel of Reckoning. He's done a lot of work for Ted V. Michaels here in town. Well, he's done a lot of work everywhere, but that's how I met him and knew him. And then he was in the Xmas. So John Ward, he threw a little bit over kind of pertaining to what Xmas 3 was going to be like. He hasn't started production for it, but it's probably going to happen. Everything got put on hold because of the lockdown, of course, and it's
right.
slow going, getting forward to doing it. So, but I mean, the character again she was fun.
Okay. Everybody's commenting here. Let me catch up real quick. Stephen mentions Tim DeVault did Meat Hook Massacre 2 with
yes.
Meat Hook Massacre 2.
No, he Jim DeVault, it was Blood Reunion 3 that I filmed with him in Texas. So he did do Meat Hook Massacre 3, I believe. But that was, he asked me if I could do it, and something happened time-wise where I couldn't. So I told him if he was interested. I asked my friend Leanne Langford if she would do it. And, she has passed away as of now, but she went and did it. She played the lead, and she did an amazing part in it. She really did. And she had fun with it. So that's Leanne Langford's the one that was in Meat Hook Massacre with Jim DeVault.
Do you ever look at some of the movies you do? Do you ever yearn to get, I mean, you love doing the low budget horror films that they get you out there. People know you and they love you for it. But do you ever just sit there and like to sink your teeth into a major production, like work with a Scorsese or somebody like that? Do you ever think about that for yourself?
Oh hell yeah, I do. Of course I do.
Yeah, the reason I ask that because believe it or not, there are some and you might be surprised by this. So there are a lot of actors that are exactly they don't even think about stuff like that. I've asked them, have you ever thought about
it's not constantly something that's on my mind all the time. Like, oh, I want to be, but I tell people I've never done this to become a star or to be big or to have this. I do it because I love it. I mean, would it be nice to work with Scorsese? Absolutely. And you know why? For me is because I love his characters. He comes up with amazing characters in every single movie he does, if you think about it. But I mean, that's good for the money. People they want a big production for their resume, so people take them serious, or any other reason. I don't really know. Everybody has their own thing. For me, I mean, I'm actually extremely happy where I am. I love independent horror. I get to work. I get a film. I mean, there was 2 years in a row, I did 3 movies each year. And I was on such a high from that because I was able to do what I want to do. Again, when I have my agents, I auditioned for Ocean's 12. I auditioned for Disney. I did all that. The chances are very slim that I would get that because I didn't have a name. And for me, I want to act. I want to work. I want to create. I want to film. So I could sit around and I could wait for 20 years to maybe just be an extra where they show my face on a Scorsese film. No, it's
much rather to have you have a legacy already. You have 56 completed projects. You have another 11 in some sort of formation. That's going to push you over
is it
60.
56?
Yeah. Well, according to IMDb, you got 56 completed, and you got
Well,
another 11. And it's always moving fast, isn't it?
It's what?
It's always moving fast. I mean, there's 11 projects out in the future, but the way the independent film is, and I have to sit there and say, you mentioned about the editor, about sometimes they don't show up. I guess that's the catch-22 when you work independents, right? It's like
it is, and it doesn't happen a whole lot, but I've known it to happen to people and they get hung up. But most of the time people, like with the Krampus, he's like, okay, he just moves forward. I'll find it. I'll find a way to get it edited and everything else. So, I mean, if there's so many people and so many producers and editors that are, or just, movie makers that are so hungry, it's like, okay, but they want their product done and they want it to turn out good also. So.
Sure. I think like 98% of the directors I know really take pride in their work. There's still some that don't. And it's on the screen and it's to be seen. You can tell they have no pride in what they do. They're doing it just to do it, but they have no pride. Fans pick up on that. I mean,
absolutely, yes, they do.
They will pick up on whether you're trying or not. And believe me, if you get caught slipping, they're not going to stick around. Why? There's so many other good directors out there that are really working hard to make fun films for the fans. Yep.
And I was discussing this earlier with my friend today that I was told by an acting coach one time, and it's so true. They said an editor can make or break you as an actor. It's true, because I've had them chop me up so bad. This hasn't happened any time recently or in the past years, but I've had an editor chop me up so bad that I really didn't know. It looked like I didn't know what I was doing on set. So, there's always that, but I'm very fortunate. That's happened to me one time, and it was when I was first starting in the industry, but I haven't had that it's not something that usually happens. So.
We have a question from our friend Timothy. He has one for you. He says, Donna, any interest in writing, screenwriting, or directing?
I've done that. I have done both. Again, I said this in an interview. Somebody else asked me that question, and I'm going to kind of answer it the same way because it's the only answer I have. I loved doing it. I love the creative nature of it, but it took up a lot of time. And I think I lost friends over it because I didn't know what I was doing. And they knew I didn't know what I was doing, but still, regardless, I was so green. And I truly love the creative nature of it. However, I enjoy being in front of the camera and being the character and doing the acting. I found by doing both that's what I want. And I know people that love being behind the scenes more. So it's all just, it's a personal thing. So, and I want to get back to you because you've said such amazing things about me. And I just want you to know that I don't think I'm big or all these credits or anything else. I love what I do, but I completely appreciate your praise, Patrick. It means a lot to me.
No, I think you're an amazing actress. I enjoyed watching you.
That means a lot. Yeah.
And I mean, if you go back to and watch any of my shows, I'm not sure if you have or not, but if you look at who I've talked to, you'll notice one thing right away: character actors. That's my lifeblood. I love character actors. I do.
Oh wow, yeah.
I love them to death. I think they're awesome. I've only introduced like maybe 4 or 5 I would call leading persons. Like what they are, they can lead a movie. They can, but the rest of it, without you, there is no movie.
Oh my God.
No, there
Steven,
is.
We're getting divorced, Steven. I'm going to marry Patrick. Sorry. You know what? I have to say I am completely fortunate that I've been able to do character work, because sometimes people get branded, they get typecast, And being able to do character work, you almost have to go out and prove yourself that you could do it sometimes, because it's, it's either not believable or this or that. So I feel extremely fortunate that I've been able to be cast and do character work. Because
the thing that it is, I was like, and the thing that it is too, Donna, is what I was saying earlier. It's got to be, it is true about, they know what they're getting when they get you, because Vegas used to be small, right? Every LA. But
yes.
more and more people have come into Las Vegas. The movie making has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And the thing that it is, but you're working more and more. But there's more actors in Las Vegas than ever before. Yet you're still getting calls first. That really says all really what needs to be said. People know where the talent's at. That's why you're getting the phone calls. There's 4 or 5 times as many actors out there. But why are you going to go out there and take a chance when you have a limited budget? You have a good script. You don't want it to be wasted. You want it to be acted by a good cast. Why the hell not? Wouldn't they call you? I mean, that's a smart thing. It's a smart play.
No, sometimes people are looking for new talent and everything else. And back in the day, like the 90s, the 2000s, most people would come to Vegas and they'd film for the scenery of, the beautiful topless women, or I never considered myself one, but Las Vegas is, well, there's a lot of places that are full of beautiful women, but it's the whole Vegas theme, the whole excitement. So, a lot of times they would come here and film because of that. But there's been very few films here in Las Vegas that I've done. Most of the work I do, I'm flying somewhere for it. But I worked with John Ward. Of course, I worked several times with Ted Michaels, and my friend Luke with Tony Newton. A lot of that stuff, he's came here from Montreal to film, but yeah. So as far as like local stuff, it's just a handful. Most of the work I've done has been away from Las Vegas. Well, I've done more. I have done some, but not as
we have a question from Timothy. He has one for you. He says, not to be negative. I don't think it's a negative. I think it's a good question. Is there a film or role that you turned down that you later regretted not doing?
No. Yeah. There's, and I mean, to be honest with you, there has not been a whole lot that I have turned down or I've had to turn down. So yeah, no, there's not been really anything I've turned down that I've regretted.
All right. I have one question. Last question for you for the night is this. So let's just say that me and let's say me and Steven, we decided to come in to watch you film a movie.
Yeah.
So we fly into Vegas, but we're a day early. We're supposed to be here on a Wednesday, but we're here on a Tuesday. So now you're gonna play. Play tour guide. So tell us where you're gonna take. What would we be doing in Vegas?
Easy. You guys are guys. I would take you to a strip club. I wouldn't care. Well, here's the thing is everybody wants to go to the strip. And like I said, us locals stay as far away from the strip as we can.
Oh, those bells ringing, that drives me. I've been to Vegas a couple of times and those bells ringing all the time. No, thank you.
Yeah. And it's so busy. I don't even know where. So, I mean, there's nothing you could do in one night, but I will tell you what, most people that come to my house, that come to visit, like Elan Udi comes here sometimes when Luke is here, they're best friends, and Deborah Dutch. We like just hanging out in my backyard and drinking wine by the candles. So you and Steven could either go to the strip club or have wine in my backyard. I'm only giving you those choices. That's it.
Well, maybe we go hang out with Dan Tana.
Yes, absolutely. I grew up watching that. I never missed it.
You know Dan Tana? Oh, that's the legend right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dan Tana. See, nobody knows who Dan Tana is.
Oh, God, really?
Nobody in the chat. I bet you nobody in the chat knows who. I bet you not only they don't know who Dan Tana is, but they don't know who Roth is either.
Okay, people, let me look at these. Okay.
Yeah. If anybody drops anything like, oh, Dantana and Roth, oh, okay. Steven says if he goes to Vegas, it'd be for you and Julie-Ann Prescott.
Oh, that's right. Is she still based here in Vegas?
I thought she was based in Los Angeles with Will. But
maybe I know there was one movie. I don't forget. Somebody asked me if I'd be interested in helping them with a movie. And I remember I'm like, get Julie-Ann Prescott. I mean, she's like super gorgeous. She's got a great body. You know, I mean, it's like, go ask her. She's based here. And I don't remember who the producer was. And I was unable to do it. But I was like, she's like got such an amazing look and talent. So
yeah, she's really pretty.
So if she's here and I'm here and she's okay with it, we'll both take you guys to strip clubs. How about that?
Timothy says he's taking us. He says taking them to the strippers. Nah, man, I want to hang out with Tana and that T-Bird.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Yeah, maybe have dinner with B. All right.
I'll cook you guys dinner. I'm good at that. I'm a mean cook too. So
all right. Well, we'll skip the B dinner and we'll hang out with you on your yard.
We could film a horror movie. There we go. You bring
the cheetah in Vegas. All right.
Well, there's a strip club here. It's closed now, but it used to be called Cheetahs.
No. Really?
Oh yeah. It was popular.
Funny. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna wrap our show up for tonight. I had an absolutely lovely time with the lovely Donna Hamblin. I see you guys have all stuck around and enjoyed the show as well. This has been one for the books. I cannot say thank you enough for coming out and hanging out with us. This has been a lot of fun, and you have to come do it again. When Krampus comes out and Xmas 3 comes out, you'll be back.
Yes, and there's a few more. If you go on my website or my Facebook, you'll see more. There's like 4 movies coming out. You have to watch them all, you guys. They're fun.
We will. We definitely will. We'll put your website in your socials. And do you have a Facebook personal page or a Facebook fan page?
It's my personal page. I don't have a fan page or the little check mark or anything.
We will put your website out there for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And we'll do that. And then by all means, I'll share this out with your friends and family and drop a comment, and that'll be appreciated. We will be back here next Tuesday. Oh, wait a minute. I can strike that. At 1:30. At 1:30, I will be heading off to the UK. I'll be part of Now Have You Seen It? Have you seen that? With our good friend Mike. He invited me and the Cheetah to come over and be on his show. We'll be on there at 1:30 Eastern time. Yeah, we got invited to go somewhere. So
cool.
now I have to get all dressed up. And then next Tuesday, I'll be back here with special guest Ross Yerger. And he and I will be interviewing Larry Avizito, who is a candidate for the U.S. presidency. He's running for president.
Wow, nice.
So he'll be here on Tuesday. So we're going to go from acting to politics.
Oh boy.
And Ross, of course, if anybody missed it, he was on here as a guest already. He served on this. He was a Secret Service agent for 21 years. So he will be the perfect co-host. Yes, we get some stars on here.
Yeah, you do.
Got you, didn't I? So we will be back Tuesday, 8:00 to talk to Larry Avizito. Stay right where you're at, Donna, and to the rest of the chat. Thank you so much for coming out. Don't forget to go to Hobbs Horror, 10:15, midnight hour. They're watching Slaughterhouse. All right, talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.